Cancer survivor, friend, and writer, just wrote this piece published by Garnet News. It's about a mutual friend who did in fact die alone from lack of access to health care. I'd like to read it to you. This is what dying without health care insurance looks like. My friend Abigail collapsed on her living room floor at age 50 and died 2 days later. She was about 7 years out from breast cancer diagnosis. She had cancer again when she collapsed, but she didn't know it. I can't think of anyone to whom the words positive attitude apply more than they did to Abby. I met her in 2008 in a breast cancer treatment support group, and I could hardly get a complaint or doubt expressed without her adding a feel-good coda. I'm so exhausted, I might say. She replied, "When you're rested, everything will look so much better." This could have been dismissed from Abby, but it didn't. She wanted everyone to believe that cancer and cancer treatment would simply be portals to an even better life than they'd had before. This is a story about what happens when people do not have health care or access or adequate coverage for health care. In the wake of the 2008 recession, Abby lost her job. She made it clear that this was, of course, for the best. She wanted to change direction, get involved with health-related not-for-profit, and ultimately work full-time. She began working part-time with one such group, but of course didn't have coverage. This was in 2009, and the ACA didn't exist yet. Abby paid for COBRA until it expired. After that, she had nothing. She might have had options if she'd had a lower income, but because she didn't qualify for financial help. Here's where things get murky. I was no longer attending the support group and spoke with Abby only every few days, every few weeks, every 3 months. When we did speak, she wasn't one to go into detail on difficult topics. Other friends of hers with whom I've discussed this have equally scant information. Abby did say she was not seeing any doctors regularly because she couldn't afford to do so. This I'm sure of. And then she started falling. She joked that she was a klutz. She joked that she was getting older. She labeled herself just haphazard. The first time she felt, I brought this explanation. The second time, I grew concerned. The third time, she fell while alone in her apartment, and she never got back up. I'm not sure if she was unconscious or unable to reach a phone. I'm not sure how long she was on the floor, but her family couldn't reach her. So eventually a relative showed up at the door with the police. They got her to the hospital where she died a few days later. I did not know that she'd collapsed until I saw a Facebook post saying, "Rest in peace." During that final hospitalization, a procedure revealed that Abby had cancerous tumors, but no autopsy was performed, so it was not known what type of cancer ultimately caused her death. The first time she'd had cancer, she had a good insurance coverage. She was able to treat the disease and go on with her life, but not this time. It's possible that she had recurred somewhere in her body, or it might have been a very new cancer unrelated to breast. The second time she did not have insurance and ACA was not available. Abby did not go to the doctor about her increasing worrisome symptoms. She did not get treatment or even a diagnosis, and she died without even knowing what exactly was making her ill. Abby had been planning, of course, to get her symptoms checked out as soon as she had insurance again. I had thought so much about what her mindset must have been in the months before her death. My resolute, positive, and cheerful friend who wanted so much to believe that great things were just around the corner. I wondered if she was afraid, and her fears may certainly have compounded by her financial situation. Not only would she have feared what might be happening, but she would have feared how she would pay for it. This is what the lack of affordable, accessible care for all looks like. These are the terrible losses that result. From what we know of the GOP's latest version of the bill, it severely reduces affordable coverage, especially for the sick, the poor, the elderly, and the disabled.
And the women.
And it would make it possible for insurance companies to charge consumers more for pre-existing conditions, especially in a case like Abby's, in which prior coverage had lapsed. Thank you.
Thank you.